a 10-year-old whose parents were driving him home from religion school says, and parents asked him, "What did you learn about today?" The child responded, "The teacher told us about the Israelites. Israelites escaped from Egypt. They came to the Sea of Reeds and built pontoons and drove across the water. As soon as the Egyptians and their tanks were on the pontoons, the Israelites sent their air force and bombed them." The parents looked at the child, and as the child was surprised. "Is that really what the teacher told you?" "Well, not really," answered the child. "But if I told you what the teacher told us, you would never believe it." Do you believe in miracles? No, seriously, do you believe in miracles? That something in our world is not scientifically proven? Do you honestly believe in it? Do you believe that at least something in this life, not simply a coincidence or the result of laws of nature? Or maybe the laws of nature is the miracle? And the last question. We read about many miracles in the Torah, such as parting of the sea, such as the pillar of smoke, or some kind of a pillar of smoke or fire holding the Egyptian army while and letting the Israelites to cross the sea. So why don't they happen again, such miracles? This is one of the examples of them. When Moses held out his arm over the sea and the Eternal One, Adonai, drove back the sea with strong east wind all that night and turned the sea into dry ground. The waters were split and the Israelites went into the sea on dry ground, the waters forming a wall for them on their right and on their left. How do you explain this? So this is just a few interpretations of this text. The first one comes from Rashi, the medieval French commentator. The waters were split, he said. What is it? What's happening there? And he says that not only waters of the sea split, but all waters in the world. So if you had a cup of tea in your hand during the Exodus story, and at the moment when waters of the Sea of Reeds split, your cup of tea also would split. So that's the interpretation of Rashi. He exaggerated the miracle. He said that, yes, it was really the miracle. Sorry, I put all of them on the same slide, which is good. So, Rabbi Moses ben Nachman, commonly known as Ramban, lived in Spain until he moved to Jerusalem towards the end of his life. He writes, "It was God's will, may God be blessed, to divide the sea by a strong drying wind, making it appear as if the wind dried the sea." So he noticed also the reference to the wind there. Rashba, the grandson of Rashi, the school of Tosafist, writes this: God used natural means, which means an east wind which always brings dryness on an occasion, and on occasion dries out ponds and rivers. So nothing special, he says. As you can see, not all Jewish commentators agree with each other. There is no one way of understanding the miracles. Also, not all believe that miracles had happened in a way our imagination wants it to happen. Perhaps it was just nature. Or God remains hidden behind a coincidence and what looks like a natural force. which world do you prefer to live in? The one where everything depends on God and you are very little, insignificance? The one where God can change everything in a moment? Or the one where you are empowered and everything depends on you? There is a story in Talmud. This one was created by rabbis in the Midrash. They imagine how Israelites would feel if sea wouldn't split. This tribe said, I'm not going into the sea first. And that tribe said, I'm not going into the sea first either. Then jumped in the prince of Judah, Nachshon ben Aminadav, and descended into the sea first. So the sea was normal sea, but he went in. This story is very different. The sea didn't depart. Israelites found themselves in an impossible position. Behind them, an Egyptian army. In front of them, the sea. What would you do? And the story continues saying that when Nachshon went in, and the water, he went further, water was up. He started to pray. And at the moment when the water was next to his mouth and probably going in, this is the moment when the sea started to split. Rabbis created a legend with an important message. It's not enough to wait for miracles to happen. You must take the first step. Even when others don't, you still can make a difference. Nachshon ben Aminadav was the first. He didn't know what's going to happen. When everybody else hesitated, he stepped into the water and went in. How many things in life are still undone because we or somebody else wait for people to come and do it? How many times we were afraid of making the first step? The world where people wait for miracles is the world where not much is done. But the world without miracles is boring. Miracles are inside each of us. We just need to make a first step. There is a poem, and I would like to end with this poem. This poem is based on the teaching of Rabbi Kook. Ben Adam aleh lemala aleh. Human being, rise up. For you have great strength. You have wings of spirit. The wings of great eagles. Don't deny them, lest they deny you. Claim them, human being, and they shall be immediately found. Shabbat Shalom.